Hey everybody, it's Tuesday night, Total Schmidt Show, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Let's do this. Hey, tune in every week as I travel the world and I talk to entertainers from all over the world. A lot of writers, a lot of comics, a lot of dancers, a lot of singers, a lot of comics, a lot of producers, a lot of tech people, a lot of comics, a lot of piano player type people. You know what I'm talking about. Musicians and lots of comics. Every once in a while, we'll throw in a comedy sketch, something like that, some music, some travel stuff. We'll even do a live remote from one or two of the ports they happen to be hanging out at.
That's it. That's the whole show. And I'm going to record it all and put it on the intraweb. Sometimes. Usually late. Always late. Maybe. I don't know. And weekly? No. Maybe. Sort of.
Either way, sit back, grab a beer, light a joint, and enjoy this week's episode of Hey, thanks for tuning into the show this week. I have a hypnotist this week on the show. Brenda Kaye is going to be here. I worked with her on a ship. We sat down. We talked about stuff. I recorded it. You're going to watch it here. Do me a favor. If you watch the show regularly, hit the thumbs up now. Hit it like right now. If you've never watched it and you stumbled on this video by mistake, hit the thumbs up now. Hit it. Hit the thumbs up. Smash the thumbs button, which is what the kids say. Smash the thumbs button. Please like the video before you realize you don't like it. And watch the show. Tune in. You know what? Hit the subscription button, too. If you look down there, you can subscribe to the channel. The Lenny Schmidt Comedy Network. Total Schmidt Show is on this network, and we're here every Tuesday. Lots of different content on this channel. You can support it by subscribing to the channel, like I said. Also, look above me. There's social media information above and below me. Click on any of those, or go to Mr. Lenny Schmidt anywhere on social media platforms. And even better than that, go do the same thing at Patreon. You can join the Patreon page, and you can support us financially. The show, we're supported solely by subscribers and followers. And that's who supports us financially. If you want to be one, you can do it for as little as $1, or you can put as much as $10,000. There's a button for that. So if you want to throw $10,000 at my video projects, please feel free. All the information is in the tickers above me and below me, and the buttons in the text. Brenda Kaye is a hypnotist, and she actually had a goal to be a hypnotist on a cruise ship, and she achieved that goal. And I got to talk to her, and we talked about working in ships, her traveling, her husband, all kinds of stuff, and the art of hypnotism, which is pretty involved and pretty weird if you watch it. It's an art form. You got to be careful when you hypnotize people because you can damage their psyche. So I think that, Brenda might have damaged me during this interview. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, sit back and enjoy my conversation with Brenda Kaye. And obviously, we have a lot of mutual friends. Mm-hmm. And I saw your late show with Brenda, or with Brent and Sarah. Yeah. A few days ago. It was great. And so yeah, it was a great show.
Thanks.
Yeah. So how long you been doing the have you just been doing the hypnotist stuff on the ships?
No. Well, yes. I started out as a hypnotherapist. I started doing shows to promote my practice, and then it was my dream to travel the world, and this is how it worked out. So I gave up my private practice to work on ships doing the comedy hypnosis show full time in 2007.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got hypnosis and you get to travel.
Mm-hmm.
So 2007, so 15, 16 years then, roughly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you dig it still?
I love it. Yeah. I told myself I would do this until it stopped being fun, and it hasn't stopped being fun.
Oh, good. Right on.
I love it. Yeah.
Well, I would like it. I always joke because I talk about I've been doing ships about 15 years. Mm-hmm. I've been doing stand-up 35 years.
Okay.
But people always talk about they're going to travel and they retire, and I'm like, I'm already traveled. I mean, right. I already got a lot of it out of the way. Yeah. So when I retire, I might not go anywhere.
Right. Just be home.
Yeah. Right.
I see that.
I'm actually real fine with that. After all the flying we've done in the last few years.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could just stay home. That would be fine.
Right.
Yeah. Or the other thing is, the cool places to go.
Exactly.
Places you want to go and kill time.
Right, and cruising is a way to sample the world. Like, I would love to go back there. I would never go there again, and you sort things out. So you can plan for your retirement by deciding where you want to go.
Right.
If that's where
that's kind of one of the things I've been doing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I've never seen a hypnotist on a ship before, though. No.
All these years. 15
I have.
Years.
No, I know guys that do it. I got some friends that do it. My buddy Don out of Vegas does it.
Don Barnhart.
Yes, I know Don really well, so I know he does it. Yeah, but I've seen him do stand up. Mm-hmm. Well, you guys you have such a tight window. You know what I mean? Because you got to get people under, and then you do the show, and then you got to get them out. Because like we mentioned a little bit last night, it's a process. You don't just snap your fingers and then they're hypnotized. You got to bring them in and bring them out.
Right.
You know? So you got less than an hour to get 45 minutes to get it all done, 50. What do you do, an hour?
I try to squeeze an hour.
Okay.
I try to get it all done within an hour. I've tried to squeeze it down, but the hour seems like the magic zone.
Yeah.
To get them to properly vet the people in the audience, to get them comfortable, to let them know what works, what doesn't, and then to get them on stage, to get them in the hypnosis, and then to have the fun stuff happen.
Right. Right. And you do something similar to what comics do, where you read the audience. I mean, you got to be able to know the right people to go to and the right people to bring on, and the right people to put in that situation to do stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's really impressive to do it on a fly. Like you got to pick up real quick, and your show's mandatory for that. Like you need those people up there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
They are the show.
Yeah. So you got to be able to read those people. So you do a great job picking them out.
Thanks.
But anytime I see a hypnotist, especially your show, I always think someone's going to walk off the stage. I'm always freaked out that someone's going to just like when the
walk
girl
off the end of the stage.
Yeah, when the girl that was doing the applause, like every time they applaud, she walked down, took a bow. Every time I saw her, I was like, I don't know if it's every time I see her, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's going to walk right off that stage. I get so freaked out.
Do you think they're in a trance and they don't have an awareness of the stage?
I don't know. I think anytime I see this, I kind of have a similar feeling when magicians are up there. Anytime I see regular people on stage, I don't know if they understand the stage. I think they might just get to the edge and realize, oh my gosh, it's the edge, and fall off the stage.
Right, and there have people that have been close, but I that's why I watch them very carefully, and then I always hire an assistant to help me be a second set of eyes to run out and catch them, or like reel them back in if they're being too crazy or too close to the edge.
Right. Right. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's smart. Yeah, because you got to have. You got 10. What do you got? 15 people up there, right?
16 people. 16. We start with.
Man, you got to have somebody else up there because you can't look at everybody.
Right. Right.
I love when you do that thing behind your back is hilarious. When you tell them when you turn your back that they're 5-year-olds or whatever, and they act like
they're in second grade. They're second grade children goofing off behind my back, and then I have no idea what's going on.
Dude, it's so funny to watch 60-year-old men and women like this guy was doing this every time we turned around. It was killing me, man. I was dying.
And blowing raspberries, and I've had people pull my hair.
We're good.
Okay.
No, I forgot to do one thing, but it's we're recording. I've got to put this in.
I mean, I've had.
Did they actually physically pull your hair?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They come up behind me, pull my hair, pull on my dress. Can I tell you a story about like where it really went crazy? So I remember I was talking to the audience, and I didn't see it at the time, but this guy was army crawling on the stage behind me. I look down, and he is looking up my ball gown. He's looking up my dress.
Oh my god.
And he went by Captain Lou, and I said, Captain Lou, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And he ran back to his chair, and he covered his eyes like a kid would do, like if he couldn't see me, I couldn't see him.
Right.
And I just said, what were you doing? He's like, nothing, I wasn't doing anything. But that was... And he was an older man doing that.
Yeah, on all fours, just crawling across the stage.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow. Because obviously some people get deeper. I don't know anything about hypnotism, but obviously some get deeper under. That's pretty deep. He's crawling across the stage on his belly.
Well, it really brings out their true character.
Right.
So you can respond to suggestions even in a light state of hypnosis, but there are deeper levels where you can just tap into like the core essence of who you are. And so if you were mischievous as a child, it's going to come out in hypnosis. So the way you see these people on stage is their real core personality. And you see the shy people, you see the outgoing ones, you see the troublemakers, and
that bears a lot of truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Did you now? How do you don't go to school to become? Did you do stage or land shows? You had to do land shows before you got up here, right?
I did.
Okay,
yeah.
and you had your practice.
Mm-hmm. So I went to school to. There was a hypnosis clinic, and they had a school out of that clinic, and so there's a National Guild of Hypnotists that I belong to. So a certifying curriculum that you have to learn therapy from, and then I started doing extra training to do like the stage performance because that's a different aspect of hypnosis.
Right.
So I did go to school. I opened a practice, did that for a number of years.
Yeah. No, you did the practice. You did a lot of like quit smoking and
Yeah.
then stuff like that. Okay.
Stop smoking, weight loss, fears, phobias, sleep,
Right.
stress. Yeah.
Which is kind of what you did today, right? You do a weight loss one today?
Yeah,
Was that
weight
it?
loss seminar.
How many people showed up for it?
Oh man, the theater was packed.
Oh, really? Oh, you did it
Yeah.
in the theater. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So on a cruise, people kind of need that help. And we did.
Yeah, it's a good
there's
pitch,
food
actually.
Everywhere. There's food everywhere.
On that
and so
3-week
it's-
cruise, yeah.
Yeah.
Like 2 weeks in, why don't you stop in and
Yeah.
work some of the stuff off or control yourself? That's funny. Because I was with Rob. We had lunch. We were leaving. He goes, that looks good. He's like, no, I'm good. I just did the seminar with Brenda. He's
nice.
Yeah, he walked right out. I go, good for you, man. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Yeah, he almost
Yeah.
grabbed more food.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's good. Do you do a non-quit smoking thing on here?
You know, I used to when I first started out on ships and was doing seminars. I did the stop smoking seminar, and then it was really successful. People were quitting in just that one session, but less and less people were smoking, and less people had the need to stop. And so
Right.
that's when I started
That's
thinking
true.
the weight loss seminar was a better one.
Yeah, that's probably smarter because you're right. Less people smoke now. Mm-hmm. I'm amazed though. I have a brother. He's one of these guys that smokes.
Yeah.
And he's animate about it. He gets mad when he can't smoke. Mm-hmm. Like when my mom passed, I got an Airbnb, and it was in Florida. And I go, I'll just get an Airbnb for all of us. Me and my
Yeah.
brother stayed. I go, there's no smoking, and he was so angry. And I go, dude, you can't smoke anywhere anymore.
Yeah,
There's
it's
hotels,
harder.
none of them let you smoke anywhere. But I know people that just are no, I smoke. You know.
It's a part of their identity. Like that
It does.
habit just becomes who they are and what they do. And yeah.
I remember because I used to smoke. Who was I just with recently? I was working with a comic, someone, but I remember needing my cigarettes to go anywhere. You know, I don't know if you ever smoked in your life.
I tried to be a smoker and I was not good at it.
I was a smoker for a long time, and you had to. But every time you leave, you need your cigarettes.
Okay,
You got to
yeah.
have them, and then every 20 minutes or so, you got to have a cigarette or something. You know what I mean?
Right,
So
right.
it's incredible the hold it has on you, and people just are so. I look back at it now, I'm like, I can't believe I ever did that.
Right.
Besides the fact it's gross, you know, and the smell, you
But
know.
when you're in it, you're not aware of it.
You don't notice it, and people that smoke a lot. I've told the story before. There's a comic who's a great guy, Stanley Ullman. He's an old guy from New York, but he's a chain smoker, and he carries a vape. If he doesn't have time to smoke, he can vape when he's in the airports
Oh,
and stuff.
wow.
But he used to smoke everywhere all the time, and he would smoke in the cabin on the ship. And he would go, "I got a foolproof system that they'll never know." So he used to bring stuff to clean it, and I would go, one, that's a lot of work. You're
Yeah.
bringing this with you,
Right.
and two. I would knock on his door for dinner. He opens the door and goes, what do you think? What do you smell? I go, I smell cigarettes and Lysol. And he was so mad at me. He said, no, you don't. I go, no, you have no smell anymore. I go, if you smoke all the time, your sense of smell is shot.
Right,
You
you
know?
go nose blind, like
Yeah.
the commercial. You just don't
Right.
smell your own funk.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with like a cat smell at your house. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If you have cats in your house or whatever,
Yeah.
you just become alien to it. So if you smoke a lot, you're alien to the fact that you smell like an ashtray.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this sounds so gross. But you're right. So many less people smoke now.
Right.
You know, I'm surprised a lot of ships don't have. I think on here, well, they have the smoking areas upstairs, but the casino they have just that room. You know what I mean? So there's not many people.
Yeah, you have to go in a little box and
Dude,
smoke there.
that's gross.
A little hot box.
That's when they started eliminating smoking from airports.
Yeah.
I don't ever flew through St. Louis, but they used to have this glass smoking area that you could see through it, and it was like walking by a smoky tube of glass. Like you would see it, and it was just this room filled. It was so gross. And I
Oh.
smoked back then,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't even go in there. I'm like, there's no way I'm going in that room.
Right. You have some boundaries on.
Yeah, it was intense. So you said now you're married, right? You've been married 7 years.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've been 7 years. We've been together since I started cruising.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's good. You bring him on ships.
Yeah,
with you.
occasionally
How cool
when
is
it's
that?
a good run for him.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
That's good, man. Good. Does he like? He's got to like cruising, right?
Yeah, he didn't at first because he wanted to be. I like land-based vacations, and he just didn't even know what cruising was about. But
Right.
then, yeah, once you do it, you get hooked.
Yeah. Once you do it a couple of times,
Yeah.
plus if you're okay with the sea thing.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, and thankfully that's never bothered me. It doesn't bother him.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah,
It
I
bo-
like it when the sea's rough.
I love it now.
It's fun.
It's the best sleep in the world.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Then
Yeah.
turn the lights out and go to sleep. I'll
Yeah,
sleep for.
just
That's when I can sleep good. Yeah. I'm like, "Grr." I have to
Right.
set an alarm because I'll sleep forever.
Right.
Yeah, it's like being in a womb. You're like, yes.
Yeah.
Now, do you have any shows? You're done?
I'm done for the cruise. Yeah.
I'm
I
surprised
finished.
you're not leaving tomorrow with us.
I know,
I know it's weird.
but I get to go through the Panama Canal one more time.
Well, that's kind of cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
For
that's
like
not
the
bad.
20th plus time.
Wow, good for you.
I don't know. I've lost count, but
You probably do a lot of these longer cruises over here, right?
yeah.
That's good, because that's got to be your market. Like most of my stuff is in North America. Almost all of it is Mexico, Alaska, and the Caribbean.
Nice.
You know, so I don't get over too far out. I do these crossings going out, and then I get out.
Okay.
But for you, this is a great market for you, because it's 3 weeks.
Well, I haven't been on the whole time. I'm only here for 2 weeks. But
this is nice. Your clientele. It's a great clientele for you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Yeah, so the shows are good, because and plus they use tons of entertainment on here.
Yeah, there's such a variety.
Yeah.
And they have to keep rotating.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's one of the cool things for us, though.
Yeah.
You know? Like when we had dinner the other day, we had who do we do? Was it Melissa? We talked about Melissa. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we both know her, but it's cool to be on these crossings when it's like it's me, it's you, it's Brent and Sarah, it's Rob, you know, and you have all these people and we have dinner together.
Yeah. So it's like we're at a table and there's 2 comics, a juggler, a hypnotist, and 2 magicians. Like when does that happen?
It sounds like a joke itself.
Right?
Yeah, 2 jugglers, a hypnotist, and a magician's walking over. Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Going to have dinner.
Yeah, but it makes it a lot better when you're traveling. Like even like Rob, I've been working with Rob. I've known him for years. Mm-hmm. So and Brent and Sarah I've known before. So when I show up, I knew Brent and Sarah were going to be here because we talked months ago.
Right.
So then I'm like, oh good, you guys will be here. So that's always like really that's good. That's good. Can you look ahead and know? Sometimes I hear we be like, I don't know.
Right, and that was here. When I got here, I didn't recognize any names on the roster.
Right.
And I'm like, who? Like, I don't have anybody to hang out with. That's cool. I'll just, like, hang out with me.
You fit right in, though.
Friends.
Yeah, you're great.
And then I knew Rob from previous ships, and so I'm like, oh, yeah, familiar face. And then he knew you, and then Melissa told me to look for you because she knew you. And then I met Brett and Sarah just at the buffet after they saw my show. So, yeah, it's fun to connect. And
I think it's great.
Who else has our crazy lifestyles? Like it's
that's why it's cool to hang out, man, because we talk about the stuff we go through, and you know, performing in front of a live audience every night or a lot. It's a weird living, you know, that people don't really like. Did you do any stage stuff before you did hypnotist?
No, and I didn't have any desire to be in the spotlight or be the center of attention.
Really?
No,
it doesn't show on stage. You're like, hello, hi.
But the thing is, I grew up super shy.
Yeah.
And I have a twin brother, and he was the outgoing one, and I was like, oh, look at him having all the fun. Like, maybe I should not be as shy. And so I forced myself to, to get out of that box by waiting tables. So I started waiting tables, and then you can't be shy waiting tables.
Right.
And then I found hypnosis and was building my practice, but people weren't taking me serious as a young, early 20-something therapist.
Right.
And so I'm like, how can I get people to take me seriously to prove that I know what I'm doing? And then I thought, well, maybe I can do stage shows, but I'm like, I don't really want to be out in public, but my desire to promote the hypnosis and get it out in awareness was greater than my fear of being in public. And so I thought, how can I get over this fear? And so I used some self-hypnosis to be comfortable talking in front of people. I took acting classes, which I got thrown out of an acting class for overacting.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was like a little
It was like a Meisner class, or
it was like a little college, like a adult education class.
Right.
Some I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, that lasted a night. I took an improv class, which I absolutely loved.
That's the best.
That helped me to be more comfortable on stage and to learn how to just deal with whatever comes at you, because you don't know in a hypnosis show, so a lot of it is improv and
teaches you to listen. Improv is the best training for everything. For acting, stand-up. I mean, I became a better stand-up after I took improv.
Really?
Yeah, and then I studied a bunch. I did all the Chicago improv stuff. I did I.O. and all that stuff. But it's the best training for anybody on stage at all. Yeah. Especially in your situation where you're controlling a situation. You still got to be able to listen to what's going on. Listening is the biggest part. Otherwise, it looks like you're just muscling through your show. Right. And there's no connection.
Right.
Yeah.
And some of the greatest gifts or some of the best blessings in the show is when things just unfold so organically or in a way that you didn't even expect. And then you just have to go with it.
Yeah.
And there was that lady that she lost her butt in my show.
Oh yeah.
And then she was kneeling on the chair with her not butt facing the audience, and just the way that she was looking under the chairs for her butt, I hadn't seen that before, and it made me laugh so hard I could barely even talk. Like, I
That's the best.
snorted in the microphone. I was laughing so hard at
Yeah.
this thing that unfolded in such a crazy way.
Well, you go. It's especially the improv thing is so huge for you. There's so much unpredictable stuff.
Yeah.
That happens every single show for you. Like I was the show was at the belly button girl, the girl that lost her belly
Okay.
button, and she was all quiet about it. It was just, and she looked like a 4-year-old. She's like, I don't want to say anything. She's like whispering. I think there's something wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So be able to read that stuff as it's going along.
Right.
Yeah, you look. I mean, well, you've been doing it what, 15 years now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're crushing it, man. It's
Well,
great. It's
thank
great to
you.
watch. Yeah.
And even before I got on ships, I was still doing, you know, like those crap gigs, like whatever, whoever would give me a stage I would perform on, whether it was like a corner of a bar or just
Yeah.
some public little meeting. You like did all of those gigs, the high school gigs, college, corporate, but
Right.
this is really like the dream come true. This
Dude,
is
that's
where
really
it's at.
badass for you to make it happen. It's kind of almost. It's almost like it's a short amount of time, kind of. You know what I mean? Like I've been doing stand up 35 years, but only ships for only 15, and I only did ships after I got divorced. But I had to get on and kind of reinvent myself as a stand up on ships. But to come out and specifically focus yourself to go, I want to travel and work on ships and be a hypnotist on ships and be able to focus through all that and starting out shy. That's ridiculous. That's incredible.
Right. Well, I had to do a lot of self-work with the hypnosis. So
Right,
it's a
right.
tool that I used on me to do this. But the thing is, like, I never had the intention, I want to work on ships.
Okay.
Because I didn't even know that was a thing.
Oh, right. That it was a possibility.
My goal in life was to travel the world getting paid to do what I love.
Okay.
Really, I wanted to travel the world like a rock star, but because
Okay.
I can't sing or play any instruments, I didn't know how to make that happen. So I was like, okay, how do I not travel the world like a rock star? How do I just travel the world and get paid to do what I love?
Right.
And I had that, just that goal in mind. I had the goal, but I didn't know how it was going to unfold. And so it unfolded in this best way possible. Like, I went to a hypnosis convention. I met a guy that was working on the ships. He knew that I did shows. He said, have you ever thought about putting your show on a ship? And I said, tell me more about this. He
Sure.
said, they pay you to perform and you get to see the world. And I said, oh my God, that sounds like exactly what I'm looking for. That's exactly what I was asking for. Sign me up.
Right.
And so mentored under him and learned how to craft my show specifically for this cruise ship audience.
Right. That's like a manifesting thing.
Yeah,
Almost.
manifesting. Yeah.
You know, like Jim Carrey. I was just reading that Jim Carrey is a really big believer on that. I just watched his clip again the other day
Yeah.
about the bike story when I was a kid, and then the check story. He does that whole story about writing on the check and stuff. But if all those things came together as you pursue and then all of that.
Yeah. You have to have the idea, but you can't be focused on how you want it to happen.
Right.
I think if you
Well, you can't be focused on how you want it to happen.
Well, I don't, like, it's easier if you have the bigger picture.
Right.
Like, you know what you want, but you don't have to have the details.
Right, because you're manifesting kind of in the long term, and then as you manifest, everything kind of falls into place leading up to that,
Yeah, like it
to the goal.
unfolds. Yeah.
Okay, right on. All right,
Yeah.
yeah, I see how that works.
But I mean, you could have a goal. Like, there are specific goals that you can manifest. Like, I set the intention that I want to be a cruise ship hypnotist, like, or
Right.
a performer. Like, you can set that intention.
Sure.
Like, that's not, there's nothing wrong in that.
My daughters are big believers in manifesting too. My oldest manifests everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a really big, huge believer. Yeah, she's going to New York next week, and a part of it was her manifestation. She's taking a week and going with
Love
a friend.
it. So
yeah.
she just decided, I'm gonna go to New York.
Well,
what was the bigger picture?
Well, I gave her the tickets for her graduation, but she didn't know she was getting them, and she
Oh,
wanted to go and take a trip with her friend.
Yeah.
But it all kind of I bought her 2 tickets and let her she could take wherever she wanted, and then she ended up with a best friend, and now she always wanted to when she was little. To go to New York with a friend, spend a week. That was her thing, was to just spend a week with a friend in New York. It was very vague, and I took her to New York right before COVID, like literally 2 months before it broke, and we spent 5 days, and she loved New York. I think my oldest is kind of like a lost soul, or an old soul.
Okay,
She
there's a difference
Yeah, I
there.
know. She's not a lost soul. She's an old soul. She loves Sinatra. She loves everything about New York. She loves old New York, really into Broadway and stuff. So I spent some time with her. So she always had this dream of just spending a week with a friend and going to plays and dinners and stuff.
Yeah.
So it all fell into place, and she leaves Tuesday. She goes,
awesome.
Yeah, and she's every day. I know, right? Every time I
Yeah.
talk to her, I'm a little more excited for her because she put it into motion. She manifested the whole trip is turning out to be exactly the trip she wanted it to be, and everything just kind of fell into place.
Yeah.
And Bella, they're like a real good. It's Bella's that's going with her, I think. Tori's going with her. She'll kill me. Tori's going with her. Tori's her best friend now. And it's just the whole thing. It all fell into place. It's really
so
cool.
It's exactly what she wanted, but she probably didn't know how it was all going to happen.
Exactly.
She
Right.
just held the idea of this is what I would like to have.
Right, and it's even more that because her and Tori are really tight. They both had. She had a little dog. I mean, there's a whole connection. There's a longer, sweet story behind her. My daughter during COVID, it was tough for COVID for these teenagers and these kids in their 20s. They
Yeah.
lost such an identity of who they were going to be. And Anna didn't have a lot of friends in LA at the time, and she was struggling. And then after COVID, it all just took off. She one friend, another friend, and it just kind of blossomed into this. Yeah. So, but she managed. This whole trip was like a whole. I'm happy for her. So, but she managed. She's a big believer in that same thing. But I've never heard it put that way before. That makes sense. Which makes more sense with the Jim Carrey check thing, because he always wrote the check and created his wallet, but never really figured how he was going to make the 25 million.
Right.
Right. So
and if you just like give it off to the universe and just it works out better than you expect.
Right.
Like I couldn't have planned my life working better than it is right now.
Right.
Like it's exactly what I asked for.
Right. Look at that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
See, that's cool because Brent and Sarah kind of have the same vibe. Like we were talking. That's one of the things that and I started out. I wanted to be an actor and a comic and all this stuff. And a lot of people that are on ships, their intent wasn't to be working on ships. But then when you're here, I think there's this cool thing that kind of happens where you really embrace the moment and you go, how lucky and cool is this that every day I'm like, oh, I got to go to Panama and I got to, you're traveling and then you're entertaining and I mean, and then other than you're on the ship, you eat for free, all these other, I mean, there's so many cool things with what we do, and to kill a day in a port, I think you become so happy with what you're doing that you're grateful, I don't meet a lot of entertainers out here that are whining and complaining about their lives.
Right.
I mean, there's a few, but
there's always those people, but in every bunch.
Well, I don't hang with them, so maybe that's why.
Exactly. I know they're there. We don't associate with them.
Right.
But the thing is, the thing that I love about being on ships is that you are around people that are the happiest they're going to be. They're on vacation.
Yeah.
And then with other entertainers, you're surrounded by people doing what they love.
Right.
Like living their dream, living their passion. You're not hanging out with people that are in their miserable at their jobs.
Right. Hating to punch in the clock or hating to go to work and all that stuff. Yeah, every one of us, that's the coolest. That's one of the reasons. That's the reason I do this podcast is to talk to people. We found a way to do what we enjoy doing and make a living at it and travel on top of it.
Right.
I mean, that's you know what I mean? That's a win. You look at that, all of it, that's a pretty big win. Life is this, everybody has visions of life and big, long things you want to do, but to be able to do what we do, man, we're fortunate.
Yeah.
I mean, I've worked in a warehouse before. It's not the greatest,
Oh man, yeah, I've done some crappy jobs and I've done some fun jobs, and even with COVID, I had to go back to a crappy job.
Yeah, right. Oh God, how was that for you? What did you do during COVID?
Oh Jeebus, it was a learning experience.
Yeah.
But I had the 3-year break. Like I couldn't be back on ships because they weren't allowing the.
Oh God, it was worse for you. That's right.
Right.
Because you use people. Right. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they didn't want acts that would interact with other people, and so I didn't come back until December of 2022.
That's right. Yeah, because we were with some of the first ones that came back because we didn't have to. We had no interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if I was ever going to come back again. So I kind of fell into like a little grieving process of like, okay, here's my career, and now I've got to pivot. I've got to do something else. And so I took some classes and did some training, but I ended up going back to waiting tables.
Yeah.
Because I missed people.
Yeah.
And that's quick, easy money. But man, that's hard. Waiting tables in your 20s is different than waiting tables in your 40s. And it just made me appreciate not having to do that anymore.
Yeah, right.
So.
I did. I used to, in my early 20s, I was a mover. Because I used to move furniture, and I can move like whole Barker loungers by myself. It's like a leverage thing. You know what I mean? You do.
Yeah.
So I go. Well, I'll go back. I'll help some people move. I signed up and I helped some people move. I did it twice.
During COVID.
Yes.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, I did it twice. Yeah, I'm 50 something, and I was also doing Uber Eats. So I would move during the day, and I came home 2 nights. I came home and iced my knees and go out and drive Uber Eats at night, and that's what I did for a short period of time. And then my daughter kept going, Dad, you can't do this moving thing. And it was after it was the third day. I go, you're right. I don't know what I'm thinking. This is stupid. I was so sore from moving, just pick up, and this wasn't even like major. Before I used to do heavy furniture. This was just helping people move up and down stairs, and I was killing me. I just couldn't do it. So I delivered food.
Right. That's
You know what I mean?
A lot lighter.
Yeah.
Here's your food. Bloop.
Yeah, I felt like such an old man. I was limping around everywhere. I'm like, this is the worst.
Man, yeah. But you do what you have to do until you do what you want to do.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Man. But it was rough.
Where do you live?
In Colorado, Denver.
Oh my
Denver,
God, that's
Colorado.
beautiful. All right, good for you. That's nice.
Yeah.
You kind of look like you live in Colorado.
What does that mean?
I don't know. You got kind of a Colorado look. I have a lot of friends. You look very blonde and mountainy.
Blonde and mountainy. All right.
Does that make sense?
Well, born and raised there, but.
Oh my God, that's great. All right,
Yeah.
right on.
Yeah, it's a good place to live.
I didn't even think about that COVID aspect of it for you guys. Did you try doing? You couldn't do any hypnotist over Zoom, could you?
You know, that
Did
is
you
the
try
one
it?
most awesome thing that I learned is to how to work with clients over Zoom.
Okay.
So I can't do the hypnosis shows over Zoom.
Right.
That's just weird. But what I started doing was group hypnosis sessions over Zoom.
Okay.
And I started hosting a hypnotic happy hour. So we would come in and we would hang out. We'd talk a little bit about hypnosis, and then we would do a group hypnosis session online, because really the hypnosis happens in your mind. It doesn't necessarily happen like being in the same physical presence of somebody. All you have to do is close your eyes, listen to my voice, and I'll guide you into your imagination, and you go there yourself. So it totally works over Zoom. And
all right.
Yeah, so I did learn how to do that, and I started working with clients over Zoom as well.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
One-on-one, yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, because I guess honestly, you got to be open to hypnosis in order for it to work anyway, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the Zoom would work, because if you're there, you're going to be open to it anyway. Like Rob today at lunch, he lost 20 minutes. He didn't even realize it. Remember, he said, I thought it was under for 5 minutes. You were under for 25 minutes. He was like, what?
Yeah, and when you go into that like time warp, it's a sign that you were like in a nice trance when you have that time distortion.
Right.
Yeah, but you have to be willing. It's a natural process. It's a natural state of mind. I mean, we go through hypnosis when we fall asleep, and then when we wake up, it's that twilight zone in between.
Right.
So you go there all the time. You just don't tend to do anything with that state of mind.
Okay.
So when you go there with intention, like through the hypnosis process, to get suggestions to eat better or to sleep better or to have your butt glued to the chair, like for the comedy reasons, that you're more open to accepting those suggestions.
Right.
But if you really have a block about it, if you don't want to allow yourself to go there because you don't feel safe or you don't feel comfortable or you feel like you're out of control, if there's something about it that just doesn't feel good, then you'll block any suggestions. You'll block yourself from going to that level of mind.
Okay. All right. Well, that's why the Zoom thing would work then.
Yeah.
Well, so how often do you cruise now? You've gone how often?
It's on and off. I used to cruise about half of the year.
Okay.
Between 6 and 8 months out of the year. So now it's probably about, I don't know. About a third of the year, but it's on and off. So I'll come on for a couple cruises. I'll go home for a little bit. I'll come back, and so.
Good. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You're going to go home for the holiday, or at least Thanksgiving and stuff?
I'll be home for 10 days. I'll be home for Thanksgiving, and then I'm out until mid-December.
Okay. Oh, that's good. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get Thanksgiving home, then I'm gone in December. That's cool.
Nice.
See, that's cool. It's also cool. You get to make your own schedule. That's the other advantage about this, is the traveling.
Right. We can
stuff.
decide what we want and what works. And
What ship? Where are you going next? Is it another crossing? Or?
I don't know. I go to the Joy. I only know that I really don't look at where I'm going until like a couple days before I have to check in.
I do that a lot too, yeah.
I know it leaves me. I get off in Aruba. I go to Miami. I'll stay 2 nights in Miami, and then I'll get on the Bliss and go wherever they're going.
Oh, when do you get on the Bliss?
early December.
Oh God, I might be with you.
Really?
Yeah, I'm doing the crossing the other way. I'm coming. I want to say I'm coming. Yeah, I'm coming out of Miami. I'm getting on the ship in Miami, the 4th, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be cool.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah, I'm on
the
and then I think I'm on for a week or 8 days or something like that,
Okay.
or not, maybe 10 days. I'm not sure, but I'm doing the crossing the other way. So I know because I'm playing Vegas, and then I fly from Vegas to Miami on the 3rd, 4th, and I get on the ship on the 4th.
Okay.
So cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's this same crossing was the other way around.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, because the Bliss is coming back to LA.
Okay, so Miami to LA.
Yeah. So I don't think I'm going through the canal. I'm almost positive I'm not, because it seems like I always get off right before.
Oh.
I don't know how that happens. I've gone through it once or twice.
Yeah.
But I always seem to get off right before.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I know that's a little weird, but yeah, for sure we work together again in December on the Bliss. Yeah. All right.
That's good to
Woohoo.
know. That's the fun part about this.
Yeah. See, now I got a friend in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Good.
Awesome.
All right. Well, I think we wrapped this up. I think this was good.
Cool.
Do me a favor, right to the camera. You throw out any socials. Yeah, do it with those eyes, just like that. I like that.
Look into my eyes. You will follow me on
Sure.
social media. You will like all my posts. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Whatever website. What do you got? Socials. Hypno Brenda. Is that what it is?
My website is brendahypnotist.com. My Instagram is hypnobrenda. That's the easiest one to find me on, and yeah, then we'll go from there.
Brenda Kaye, thank you so much for being here. The mysterious. Wait, the what?
Mysterious.
No, the what is it?
The mesmerizing.
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 I apologize.
Brenda Kaye. That's
the
okay.
mesmerizing Brenda Kaye. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you.
You're the best. You're still watching? That's amazing. Nobody does that. Nobody, but you did. That means you want more. Pick one of these clips. Go for it. I dare you. Hey, also follow one of those social media thingies. Total Schmidt Show streams every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. on YouTube. That's the video version. The podcast, the audio version, is found on all audio podcast platforms by 7 p.m. the very same night. Follow us on social media at Mr. Lenny Schmidt. That's where we can be found on the Facebook, the Twitter, the TikTok, the MySpace, OnlyFans. Some of those I'm blind about. Go to the Lenny Schmidt Comedy Network on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel. That way you get updates every time we pop up new videos and new episodes. Also, this show is financially supported by followers, subscribers, and supporters. If you want to be one, please feel free to do so. We would be more than happy to take your money. Go to LennySchmidt.com. Click the Pay If You Can button at the top of the page, and you'll get tons of options where you can support us for as little as $1. We hope you enjoyed today's episode, and thanks for tuning in to